I've been shying away from speaking about this family for the longest time. It feels like it's a taboo to speak badly or say anything about this family. After the incidents that took place with Zolega Mandela's death, the family of Mandela is slowly becoming an interesting topic. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I know it's been a long time, but it feels good to be back. Today we will be discussing the Mandela family, their strange lifestyles and confusing family dynamics. Tata Nelson Mandela has built his family legacy from the ground up. It hasn't been easy, from being a political activist from a tender age to being imprisoned and later becoming South Africa's first black president. His journey began while he was in his early 20s in the 1940s. In 1944, when he was 26, he got married to Mama Evelyn Mase, who was a professional nurse in Gauteng at the time. She was from Eastern Cape. She was Mr. Walter Sisulu's cousin. He met her through Walter Sisulu. They share 4 children together, 3 of which are no longer alive and 1 who is still alive, namely Sis Makaziwe Phumla Mandela. During the course of their marriage, there were rumors that Tata Madiba cheated on his wife multiple times. Biographers who wrote about his life claimed that Mandela was having an affair with his then secretary Ruth Mompati, and he was also with an ANC activist, Lillian Ngoyi. He has a son with his secretary. His first wife had these words to say about his infidelity.
I could not put my finger on it at first. Nobody would tell me. Then the gossip reached me. Nelson, I was told, was having an affair with a woman member of the ANC, Lillian Ngoyi. I knew this woman and admired and liked her. She visited us often and I got on well with her. I did not believe the rumors at first, but unable to bear it, I turned to Nelson. Who else could I have turned to? He was angry that I questioned his fidelity. The woman was an important ANC leader and that was all there was to it, he said. The gossip continued and there were those who tried to console me by claiming he was bewitched. There was also another woman, and this one started coming home, walking into our bedroom, following him to the bathroom.
His wife was not happy about this. At some point, she even convinced him to let go of his activism. There was a lot of havoc in their marriage. It seemed like they were not so compatible. In 1958, they got divorced and he got married to Winnie Mandela within the same year. In 1959, she gave birth to Zenani Mandela within a year of their marriage. The following year, Winnie gave birth to her last-born daughter, Zinzi Mandela. In 1963, Mandela was sentenced to 27 years. Winnie took over and she kept the anti-apartheid campaign alive. She was never scared to challenge the ruling party of that era. She was fighting for Ubuntu abrasively and aggressively. There were allegations that 5 young men had been assaulted on her property and in her presence, which she denied. A 14-year-old boy named Stompy was found dead, which she claimed she would never murdered anyone, but people were trying to ruin her reputation. A lot happened under her leadership. She was in and out of prison. During all this time, she was fighting for freedom of her husband and South Africa as a whole. Their marriage suffered a lot. Imagine staying for more than 2 decades without your partner. In the end, Nelson Mandela was freed from prison after 27 years. 2 years after walking out of prison, Mandela announced that he was seeking divorce from Mama Winnie Mandela because she was reportedly having several affairs when he was in prison. It was rumored that she had an affair with Dali Mpofu, who was very younger than her at the time. Their problems with Mandela ran deeper than just an affair. During their divorce hearing, Mandela said Winnie only entered the bedroom when he was asleep. They had barely spoken in months. In 1996, they finally divorced after almost 40 years of marriage, but they still kept contact. Even though they got divorced, they continued to shed love and adoration for one another. In 1998, Tata Madiba got married again. Winnie was still in Mandela's life through it all. Even though they were not together, they still continued parading each other in the public. The sad truth about this family is what Zoleka believes is a curse of divorce. Almost everyone in the family has gotten divorced, from Tata Mandela divorcing twice, Mam Winnie got divorced from Madiba, Mam Zenani Mandela divorcing her husband, Zinzi divorced her first husband Babhlongwane and remarried. Zoleka also divorced her husband Terry Bashala. The first daughter of Nelson Mandela, Makaziwe Mandela, has also gotten divorced and remarried again. They love, but it seems they have been very unfortunate when it comes to marriages. Another strange issue in the Mandela household is that everyone has the same surname. The children, the grandkids, the great-grandchildren, like everyone has the same surname. I do not know if their IDs use Mandela, but publicly everyone uses the surname Mandela. For example, Zoleka's mother Zinzi got pregnant with her firstborn Zoleka out of wedlock, so she uses the Mandela surname, rightfully so, because she cannot use her father's surname. Her father's surname is Siagamela, but she does not use her father's surname, which is understandable because her mother was not married at that time. Even after her mother got married to the Hlongwane family, her other 3 children, whom she got after Zoleka, still use the Mandela surname. This is obviously benefiting them in some way. For connections and other social benefits, it's easier to get jobs and enter certain doors that would not be entered by anyone with a regular surname. They use the surname for economic benefit, I guess. This is quite shocking because when someone gets married, they have to use their husband's surname, and their children also have to use that surname, but not in this family. Now let's get to Winnie. Winnie wanted to create a legacy for her 2 children, which is Zenani and Zinzi, and great-grandchildren. She symbolized them by starting their names with a Z. Zinzi and Zenani loved one another. They worked very closely together in cementing their mother's legacy. The way the media has portrayed this family, it did seem like Zinzi was the favorite daughter of Mam Winnie, Zoleka was the favorite granddaughter, and Zoleka's late daughter Zenani Jr. was her favorite great-granddaughter. In an interview with Anele Mdoda, which took place in 2017, Zoleka admits that she wasn't a good mother to her daughter Zenani. She would leave her and go drink alcohol and do drugs and also sleep with different men. Zoleka confirms that she was sexually violated from a young age. When her daughter Zenani Jr. died in an accident in 2010, she was very angry with herself because she did not take care of her daughter. She just chose to live life recklessly. Her grandmother, Mam Winnie, was very distressed because she loved her great-granddaughter. In 2018, when Mam Winnie died, she asked to be buried next to Zenani Jr. But King Dalindyebo and other Xhosa kings wanted Mam Winnie to be buried next to her ex-husband, Tata Nelson Mandela, but her daughters Zenani Senior and Zinzi did not allow that. Mam Winnie was buried in Fourways Memorial Park north of Sandton. This was a stressful time to Zoleka because she lost her favorite person on earth. Her grandmother is the one who raised her, and it would get worse because 2 years after that, the passing of her mother happened. She lost her mother Zinzi Mandela to COVID-19 in 2020. Her mother was buried in the same place as her grandmother and child. Zoleka has been surviving with breast cancer for a very long time. She was terminally ill. This means that she was at a stage where the disease could not be cured or treated. She had been documenting her life since, writing on her diary and planning for her children after her death. Her diary caused a lot of havoc when she wrote the people she did not want to see on her funeral day. She passed away on the 25th of September 2023. Right before her memorial, a list of people she didn't want to see in her funeral circulated. This was her diary, so whoever sent this list is someone who is very close to her. This list is dated 7 April 2023. And now it's September 2023. Maybe she might have forgiven some of the people that were on the list. We may never know. Who writes a list of people they don't want in their funeral? It's weird. It's weird. Her decision to ban everyone from her funeral was personal and kinda selfish. It was made out of anger. There she wrote that she doesn't want her baby daddy Leroy Andile and her ex-husband Terry Bashala, her aunt Zenani, the husband's aunt, and all their children, the Madikizela family, like the whole family. She didn't want her family except her siblings and her children, basically, because she didn't want her cousins, her aunts from the Madikizela family, and she didn't want the Lamini family, which is Zenani's family. So she didn't want anybody that was just a family to her, and this is very much toxic. I know that most people have been saying that Zenani is the bitter aunt, but there are signs of toxicity from Zoleka as well. But I understand her not wanting Mandla Mandela, King Buyelekaya Dalindyebo, and her uncle Mike Siyakamela because she claims they sexually violated her. But not wanting the whole family, like the whole family, will make things awkward for her remaining siblings and children. They may end up being hated by the whole family for their sister's actions. I don't know if she thought about that. That's why I say she was kind of selfish when she was making this decision. She didn't think for her children. I know that maybe her children are safe, she will keep them with friends, but they need to have a chance when they are grown up, where they get to meet their family. Something quite strange about this is that she did not really say who she wants to direct her funeral and whom she wanted to be there, so there was a lot of chaos. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because Zenani, her great aunt Zenani, is the remaining person, like elder in the family, in the Winnie Mandela household. She owns everything in her mother's estate. Even though she is married to the Dlamini, she controls everything that happens in her mother's house. So obviously there were going to be contradictions when someone says you must not come in your own house, because Winnie Mandela left that estate for her remaining children, which was Zinzi and Zenani at the time. So Zinzi is now gone. Zenani is the one that's left. On the day of Zolega's burial, Zenani issued a court order stating that Zolega's body will not be buried alongside her children, mother and grandmother. She must be moved to another area which will be provided by her ex-husband. Zenani has received a lot of backlash from this, one reason being she was not supposed to be at the funeral in the first place. The second reason she got a backlash is because people are claiming she is a bitter aunt. Nobody truly knows the family politics in that family. Like every time someone dies there's always going to be an issue. Families fight a lot, and we don't know the full story of what happened. Only the Mandelas know, but it seems like Zolega's ex-husband has a good relationship with the Mandela family. They might have agreed that this was the best decision for the family, but it is a sad situation. There have been theories that maybe Zenani wants that space left in the cemetery for herself. It is quite sad to watch Mam Zenani and Zolega do this, because at some point they were very close. Those who have read Zolega's book say Zolega speaks fondly of Aunt Zenani. I wonder what changed. Maybe the death of Zolega's mother caused a rift between the two. Mam Zenani has been very protective of this family from a very young age. We have seen her protect her mother on the day of her funeral, shunning everyone who was talking bad about Mam Winnie. She is very straightforward, and she does not eat nonsense for breakfast, lunch and dinner, baby. Her and Zolega are kind of similar in personalities. They both are firstborns of their mothers. They want to lead. Zolega might have wanted to take up her mother's space when she died and control some things in the household because she is the firstborn. That might have rubbed her aunt the wrong way. Nobody knows the full story, but these two were very close at some point. Zolega's first daughter, Zenani, was actually named by Zenani Senior. So these two were quite close. We do not know what happened. Anyways, these are some of the sad truths in the Mandela family. May Zolega find peace and forgiveness in her sleep. Thank you for watching until the end, and bye.